whispering your name into the atmosphere. My heart still beats, but it feels so torn. You left too soon. Now I'm warm. Too soon. Too soon. You left too soon. But I still hear you.
Come on, little one. You can eat the Dorito. You can eat that Dorito, little one. So what if they put like Blake Lively in Dune? You know, then it's one of those situations where people say, oh, she's trying to get with a young man. You know, I think of these things, I'm like, what about those films that were in Kroger in Lexington? The little box set up with Britney Spears as you're going to the cold cut section in the cryo chamber. And it's 6 days, 7 nights, Harrison Ford, Meg Ryan. Yes, I did the calculation wrong. There's an extra 100 out of that Aussie film that I made. Still breaking that down. I think there's a set 17 that you have to do. That's what it looks like right now, is a set 17. And I know there's a set 26 and there's a set 27. And the vine dresser, if you want to use that, then you have to calculate this 100 within a 46 from April 3rd to February 17th, 2020. That you won't have to do that. And I know there's a 150 and there's a set 240 for the dad. And I think you're doing collection of the mom symbolism throughout, but there's a set 213 that is the max. That's the they call it the adder in the chest. They'll say the adder in the chest. It's a set that mine was 81 or 79 from your buried treasure to your Excalibur. But I think the farthest you can go with that is 213. I may be wrong, but I think that's what it is. And then there's a 55. There's a 55, and I think that's Area 51, the final exit. You know, and they'll use like a scary type of this is your last stop, and it's Eve in O-Town. It's Eve in O-Town that is the relation. It's like this is your last stop, and he's just like waiting there for you to get off the bus. And it's one of these movies like Back to the Future that had symbolism of like the magic school bus. It might even be Guardian's Guide to the Galaxy, Hitchhiker's Guide. But there's like a type of stagnant bus driver that is waiting for you, and they use him as an odd character. He's one of these oddball characters that he just says something like it's a video game, like it's, you know, well, this is it, this is our stop, and he doesn't say anything else. So they'll use these oddball characters throughout a type of video game mechanism of when you've done your angel position, which I think is your eunuch and your Nazarite is what that is. And yes, the rabbit went through that. He went through that side and came out the other side. Blue tube. So that was interesting. And a rabbit from over there came forward. And there's some papers miscellaneous over there, and it's kind of a little generator box, wooden box that they have. And it's just sitting there. It's a full generator engine. And there's some rubber black cylindricals. I'll zoom in on that. That's been there a while now. But you'll see that they will think you're the adder if you're talking like the adder from what you had, your meal. I had canes yesterday after I went to Circa and after I made the video at this other casino. Just stayed on Charleston, the whole way. And I had the fries at Cane's, 2 fry boxes. It's real cheap. And I got a large water, extra ice with a little collector's cup. That was actually a really good meal. They serve it really hot, and it's like carnival fries, but if you don't get the chicken, then you're not grossed out, and it turns out to be a good meal. It's like a dinner or a snack, whichever you're in the mood for. And so then they will say these things like they will say things that are your deal. They will come after you, and they will say what your deal is. They will say down the rabbit hole of you have cut off, and some will try to bring you back and say, no, you didn't. And they're going to speak like it's a kill. And this is just part of the Matrix. That's because you're even doing scrolls while videos are being made about the scroll. And they call that that's the Garaday and the shark head and the orangutan body and Lady Deathstrike hands fast like Winter Soldier. That's exactly what that is. That's that spirit. And they'll use, Johnny Cash, the nostalgia from, the 1950s. And, they will say, well, we're going to talk about aliens, or we're going to talk about the government. And that the actors, they do a sort of trip hop of they're on the street and their name means that they get to be on the street and be a Ben-Hur that's a certified Ben-Hur of a person that looks like them even, and that they are giving you a sign or they're fulfilling their name. And this happens where it's like they're doing an angel task, and it's like they cut off and they might have been hit by basically a nuke in the Middle East, and then they're in Hollywood. And then around the time that the A is going on, or whatever the mystic symbolism of the mystery of Babylon in the Bible, they will chime into that and say, hey, we're doing our part and you think that we're satanic, but we are actually believing in the Bible and fulfilling the Bible by helping this pyramid type of system that we can hack into, like we're Smith in the Matrix, and we can, fulfill things. And when they do that, it's canon. It's not, well, it's by chance, they were just chiming in. It's like, no, Ben V, that's canon. Like, that they did that means, okay, we're moving forward. Like, if you see Christian Bale with holding up a sign on the street corner, that's part of the deal, that even if nothing happens, well, a lot happened that moved things along. And you have to realize that and know, okay, this is the Bible being completed. And even the cats at night, when you cut off, the cats will see the Bible and it will light up. The Bible will light up and it'll be, oh man, we got this, we got this, we got this. It's all done. Like these guys are canon of this. Like, man, that flock Obama, that flock Alvin Brendan, that flock Ben V, wow, they completed so much. And then they can gloss over that section because they know the details of it and they know it's been completed. And it's no longer a burden of, well, we don't have Galatians, but we have Ephesians. And Galatians is real tough. No one has gotten that. Maybe Ben V's flock can get that. And, it's like, then you have a certain section or person within that section that's like, okay, this is a collective that even the small parts are being done. Don't always go for the big parts. Go for the obscure to get it done. And those are hard to get. I mean, it all has to be proven by, they'll say COVID-19, Cov I, which is Elba, and the 4, which is the shine, and they'll say Cov ID 19, that we have 19 of the 26 Baktun of the tribes and churches, we have that done. This is hey guys, since you're all into the rapture, I'm speaking brazen walls abruptly, since you're all into the rapture, let's slap it in your face of how much we have to get done before we can have that. And the ID is actually all these guys that came before you in the coding of Gambit, Ramy, LeBeau, and Corona is just a standalone add-on of Vin Diesel was that too. And so the ID, Vin Diesel, and they all came before us, including Mummy Returns, Brendan Fraser, and they got done a whole lot. And they got done 19. Well, 19 to 26 means 27. So then the cats will say, oh, Corona, that was nothing, man. That was nothing. And you're like, what do you mean? Didn't we get it all done? Or a big part of it? And it's like, no, man, that disease was just the elders and the kids telling us where we're at. They got to have a spirit like a kid, like they've been raped, the shine, all that, or they're pure. They weren't raped, but they were saved by Elba or something. They're the elders. These are the elders, the archives of Star Wars. And so then they say, okay, well, Brock, like his Excalibur included this, like, hey, elders, in my Excalibur, I put, hey, elders, like, can you help us with knowing where we're at on the end times timetable? I didn't say that, but in the code I said that. So then they do a disease like that. This is just one way of looking at it. It might be that we got some churches done and some tribes done within that. But I'm just saying this is one way to look at it. I won't know till I'm one of them.